This is episode 94 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I am Sam Cooper, and today we have another Sean special. And we have a Sean versus Sam, except I'm not involved.
Yes, I am playing Snappy, one of the many Sams of Tin Squadron.
Many Sams.
I'm beginning to feel a little outnumbered. You're a Sam, or you're a Burnett, or you're an outsider.
Hey, there are multiple Seans. Sometimes.
Not for the last 18 months.
He's still technically Tin Squadron.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And we do like our Supreme Leader. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Because we have to. I mean...
Whoa.
That's how Supreme Leaders work, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, to be fair. I am continuing with the list I've been playing for ages now. You guys all know it. Although, interestingly, maybe not for much longer, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the match. And Snappy. Snappy turned around to me because I said I'd like to either play him or Stuart yesterday. And he's like, "Oh, I'll play you, and I'll just pop out a list that I know quite well, so I don't make a fool out of myself." And then immediately pops out a list he's never flown before.
Yes, I saw this, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Snappy is normally an Imperial player. And certainly when it comes... He's dabbled in other factions, but certainly when it comes to, if you say, I'm bringing a list I know, you'd expect it to be Imperials. But he has in fact bought Boba, Kanan, and Koshka. Like, wow.
Typical Scum.
Jumping on the meta there.
I mean, says the guy flying the boy list.
But I make no claims about the fact that I'm using a meta list.
I mean, fair.
But yeah, he has brought Boba with Fearless, Proton Bombs, Contraband, Slave One title, Ahsoka crew, and Veteran Tailgunner. Koshka with the Notorious, 000, Contraband, Marauder, and Veteran Tailgunner. And Kanan with the only logical upgrade you'd put on him.
Maul!
Now
I think about it, it's actually kind of crazy that Separatists got Savage Opress as a force crew before either Asajj or Maul.
Yeah.
Considering I don't think Savage ever was a part of the Separatist Alliance. He just was Maul's bro.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, I'll have to watch Clone Wars back. It's been a while.
He was recruited by Asajj after Asajj got kicked out of the Separatist Alliance, and then he joined up with Maul after Maul went on a revenge spree. I don't think he was ever actually part of the Separatists.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
Flavor fail AMG, reassign his factions.
I mean, to be fair, technically that would have been FFG, right? But
well, they're now the ones shouldering the blame.
Well, that's fair. So this evening we are playing Scramble the Transmissions, and yeah, that's it. So let's crack straight on into it. We roll off. Oh, I'm gonna have to slow that down for the dice rolls. Apologies for the slight chopping of the top of the dice box. It shouldn't be an issue. For the player rolls, I'm the gold dice and Snappy is the red dice. So I am first player for turn 0. And because it's Scramble, I can't do the classic stick at range 2 in the middle on my edge to create a cluster. So I do the stick it as far up the opponent's board edge as possible. And then I'll launch the majority of my list at it.
Seems legit.
Alright, Kanan's going to be a pain, but you're just going to have to deal with that. And he can only do it twice.
Yeah.
Boba's a pain, but I kind of feel like Gideon's just the perfect counter to Boba.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I will take a joust here. And Snappy, interestingly, places it on my side, on the same side that I placed it, as close as he can to both of his to create a nice little range 2 triangle.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't mind it.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Because, I mean, At least the way I look at it, Bobber's probably never. I mean, Bobber could actually scramble at I5 because he's Bobber and he has 17 bajillion mods. And he has proton bombs on Bobber. So honestly, encouraging a cluster on your no shield TIE fighters with very little health, like it isn't. I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, the way I was looking at it is, yeah, he can obviously nuke the TIE fighters, but he can't initiative kill the TIE fighters.
Oh, true. Like it's not it could be initiative killing, but like with between Kanan and 2 Firesprays and like 000, proton bombs and all that jazz, like he's not got terrible odds at like running through stuff.
Now, bear that in mind when we get to turn 1. So, I placed the first rock, and I brought 3. Well, 1 large rock and the 2 large debris. And I placed the sort of elongated triangle debris in between the center objective and the objective I placed on Snappy side, just the ones furthest away from me, to just block off that lane. So we're not sticking no fire sprays down there.
Yep.
Snappy 2 and 2s in my bottom left corner, which is basically the other side away from the objectives. So I see if I can. I sneak the mustache rock in basically just above or just to the right as we're looking at it of the objective that I placed down towards Snappy's board edge. Just trying to create I can't scoot right along there and over the objective. You're not getting your 2 fire sprays side by side. Snappy places an obstacle and then realised that there was still a large rock left, so changes his mind. And 2 and 2's that in his bottom right. So he's got those basically the corners away from the objective side. I place a mid-sized rock between the rock he's just placed and the debris that I placed earlier, so that I've got a nice little arcing line of rocks across his board edge. So, I mean, he could shoot past them, but he can't shoot past them easily side by side.
Yeah, true.
And then he places the last one, interestingly, on his side, on his left as he's looking at it, creating a triangle between the debris and the mustache rock, adding another obstacle between him and the objectives.
So, I would have a plan with that because I actually quite like that because I was thinking that Snappy should do this, and now he's placed it there. I quite like it. Is deploy on the right and just loop around the rocks because they're fire sprays. You can deploy on the right hand side, 4 straight boost, and then basically like long bank and get into the center and just skip all the rocks essentially because two of the objectives are on your side. So if he gets past the rocks on a flank, then fine, and that keeps the fire sprays together.
Which I get, but realistically, that engagement probably isn't happening till at least round 2, possibly round 3. By which time I can shoot up the board edge, hard turn in, claim 2 objectives, and then we're effectively just jousting down the middle lane. But at least if things go badly for me, I'm ticking up 2 objectives.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be 2 objectives forever. Like my thinking here is, Koshka at the very least can just shoot onto your home objective.
What, down on the bottom right?
Yeah.
It's
like deploys on Snappy's right. The fire sprays 4 straight boost or whatever, and then they're moving towards the center. 4 straight take tokens or take an action of some sort, and then you're in the center. And then the next turn, Koshka just gets your home objective.
Well, we'll see how that plays out.
At least that's how I play it, because that just avoids all the rocks. Then the rocks are your problem, mostly, rather than Snappy's problem.
But they're not really my problem, are they? Because if he shoots forward on the first turn, then I just turn in and we both ignore the rocks.
Yeah. Like I said, they're more your problem, is what I would say.
See, I just don't see them as a problem, because I just want to stay in that clear space where they aren't, so I don't need to go into them.
Yeah, that's fair. Like at least that's how I would do it as the fire sprays, because you just that way none of the rocks are a problem, and they're more likely to be yours if you're going straight towards the board edge.
So I place Feroth To the right of the two objectives, basically so that he can go up and turn in and claim. Koshka, who is in the green fire spray for people watching, goes down on Snappy's right, as you predicted, with Kanan just to the left but facing towards her.
I don't like that, but Kanan. Well, in my plan, Kanan wants to be facing the same way because Kanan does need to move swiftly. Like my entire point of this is the fire sprays are moving swiftly, and Kanan also needs to move swiftly. A turning is no good.
So I set up Gideon just to the left of Ferof, and then Mauler and Backstabber to the left of that, with their one at the back, one halfway up and forward to stay in the centre arc. And then Bobber goes down to the right of Koshka. And Vader goes opposite the fire sprays. Because, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
All right,
Why not?
Snappy, I want to see 4 straight boost to the left with Koshka, maybe a 3 bank to the left boost with Bobber, and some sort of turn of Kanan.
So we go into turn 1. Yeah, I did do it too high. And I believe that's still me, because I'm quite good on the overlay for initiative. I forget for many of the turns. But
turns don't matter.
But hey. So yeah, turn 1. And I ailerons, 1 forward. No, I don't. Ignore me. I did a 1 straight. So I do 1 straight, take a focus. Koshka does a 4. And
boost to the left.
And boost.
There we go. I like it.
And then a 3 hard from Kanan.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
And takes a stress. I 2 straight, Gideon and the ties. Gideon cloaks and the ties all take green tokens. Bobber does a 4 straight.
Boost to the left.
And takes a focus.
Oh no, boost to the left!
See, I'm looking at it, would the boost to the left fit?
Maybe not, but I would try it.
I mean, I probably would have tried it, but... and Vader 3 halves away, because, yeah, we're not having any of that. And then a barrel roll.
Yeah, but now Bobber's a turn behind Koshka.
Yeah, yes he is. So
it's a
we
disaster.
So I roll during the planning phase, and I have to decloak. Amusingly, this game, I've got so paranoid about forgetting to roll during the planning phase that I start rolling after he's decloaked. But hey. Oh look, I failed my decloak. What a shame.
Yeah, he tried to decloak into Captain Ferof, but unfortunately Captain Ferof is there.
I mean, I was pretty covered both sides, to be fair, I think. So, tis all good. Okay, let's... Ooh, it does wobble a bit when we knock it, doesn't it?
Yeah, but like going back to my thing, that's why I wanted Kanan to be facing the right way to begin with, so he can just move slowly behind, and then Bobber can 3 bank to the left behind Koshka, and then you've got both fire sprays facing the right direction.
So
we are here now.
We roll off, and I'm first player again. So I do a 1 straight ailerons with the Ferof, and then I 2 bank in, and I claim the objective that I placed on Snappy's side. That was, I think, a 2...
That's
3
bank.
bank.
2 bank, left, I think.
To the left.
2 bank to the left.
From Koshka, who claims the centre. Yeah, we always forget that Kanan has to move. Who does a 1 bank and I can't remember, does something.
There's the stress, does something. No tokens getting put down. Doesn't matter.
I won hard with Gideon, and I wanted to claim the objective here, but I'm 2 banking with both the ties, and I've got a feeling that Backstabber just clips that.
I actually think he'd have been fine.
I think, in hindsight, when I looked at it afterwards, I think I would have been okay, but it was close enough that I didn't really want to take the risk. So I barrel roll out the way. I do a 2 bank with Mauler first, which just leaves me on the edge of Koshka's firing arc. So I barrel roll out of the way because don't want to get shot. Yeah, I think I would have just got in front of that. Although I can't remember which way I barrel rolled. If I barrel rolled backwards,
I think you'd have cleared.
Yeah. But I wasn't sure, and I look at it, and I claim the bottom left objective. Because I think if I'm taking a shot from Koshka, it's range 3. And Koshka now doesn't have a way to jump on that objective the next turn.
Yeah.
Bobber does a one straight.
Like that was a bank.
A bank
and then a boost.
Yeah, then a boost. Sorry, I skipped past that. And then I do a 3 hard from Vader. And I decide to barrel roll in behind the debris because I can't get out of Bobber's arc. But this gives me the obstruction. And for me, I felt it gave me better options for the next turn because I've got more. It's easier to get in behind.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the Firesprays shoot out the back, but I suppose it's easier to get in behind and barrel roll for an arc dodge if I need to than.
Yeah.
So Vader takes a shot into Bobber. It gets Kanan'd. I get 1 hit. He rolls 2 evades.
You roll 1 dice and get 1 hit. Woo!
Yeah. Then we do, I think, Backstabber into Koshka. It doesn't get Kanan'd. I roll 1 hit, 2 evades. Then Mauler, range 2 into Koshka. And I end up with nothing. Then we go to Bobber, who has a. What was that? I think that was range 3 into Mauler, or a range 2 obstructed into Vader.
Rolls blank focus crit, so I'm assuming spends the force for hit crit.
He does spend the force for hit crit. I roll 3 blanks. I think this is
evade.
And an evade, sorry, yeah. 4th dice. I think this is into Mauler. Because I'm going to take a crit in a minute. But you can imagine what I was like at that point. Yeah, typical. Another 3 blanks. Yeah, it's a structural damage onto Mauler.
Well, would you have felt happier if they were focuses?
A little bit, yes.
Because even though they would essentially have meant nothing.
Yes, but at least then the mistake would have been mine for not taking a focus. Fair. Although I still think barrel rolling out of art was the correct call. But
yeah.
We check Feroff. Feroff has no shot. So we go to Koshka, who takes the, I think, range 3 into Backstabber. Rolls 3 hits. I roll blank, blank, evade focus. So take 2 damage. And then I scored 2 points. And Snappy scores 1. But I'm kind of okay with this because there is no easy way for him to take the upper hand on the next turn, objective-wise.
All right. Snappy, I'm going to talk to you from the future. I want to see Koshka Frost do a 4 straight right now.
I don't think she does.
Bobber probably just wants to... Honestly, actually, I think Bobber wants to try and move quickly into the center, and Kanan just wants to trundle behind.
So we roll off, and Snappy is first player for this turn, which is amusing because after 3 turns, I kind of wanted it to be me, but it wasn't.
That's not a 4 straight.
No, that is in fact a 3 bank from Koshka.
Looks a lot like a 2 bank to me, but
was it?
All right.
It must be because it's a tin one and we haven't done a 3 yet. So yeah, sorry, a 2 bank. And Koshka, he ums and ahs whether to take a target lock here.
Focus. It's always focus.
And I can't remember what he does. I think he does focus. He does focus.
It's either focus or reinforce.
A 1 straight from Kanan, which I found interesting because that's close for range.
No, I think range 3 will reach Koshka. You might have difficulty next turn depending on how fast Koshka wants to go, but I think that's definitely range 3 to Koshka.
And Kanan takes the focus.
Yeah. Yep, makes sense.
So I ailerons one bank left with Feroff, and then just throw the objective around willy-nilly. And then I bank into Koshka.
Ooh.
I've done a 3 bank. I was hoping to go first and just get in Koshka's way.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. That's fine. I've gone into the side of Koshka, and she doesn't have arc on me.
Yep, that's all good.
And I elect not to take the red focus. Gideon also bumps, doing a 3 straight.
That's fine. Gideon is exactly where he wants to be.
Yeah, exactly. He's clout. He does take the red focus because
you've been there before.
I've been there before. Bobber does a 1 bank in towards.
I think he wanted to go a bit faster because now you've just given Vader an easy flank.
And he takes the focus.
Yeah, that's good.
I do a 5 straight with Backstabber, straight over Gideon and Koshka.
Nice.
They are not my target.
Yeah, you're going for Kanan.
I'm going for Kanan. So yeah, 5 straight. I'm almost directly in front of him, just slightly off center. I afterburners boost, and then I take.
Make sure you're rolling 3 dice.
I make sure I'm rolling 3 dice. I 5 straight with Mauler, which jumps over Django. I afterburners to the right to get the bullseye for Predator, and I take a focus. And then Vader actually bumps because I dialed in a 3 bank.
Ooh, interesting.
Because I, like you, was expecting Django to come in a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And depending on what the option, where it ended up, if he'd come faster and not been in the way for the block, I wanted the options to afterburners left after Kanan as well. So, but that bumps into Django. Which I'm fine with because I say
stay there.
I'm not getting shot. Well, I mean, Kanan could pea shoot me if he wants, but exactly. I don't take the red focus because not worth it. Oh yeah, we notice after about an hour and 10 minutes that I forgot to start the clock on this one. It's still at 70. Luckily, because I was recording, we had how long I'd been recording for, and as you saw, we got into it pretty quick. So
yeah,
I think we go 1 round beyond the clock, but yeah, mystery time. So Vader just checks to see if he has Kanan, but he doesn't. So he goes into Koshka. I don't. Yeah, no Kanan, and I roll 2 hits.
Yeah, absolutely. Snappy needs to save Kanan to save himself because he's got pretty good odds of surviving with Kanan.
And Koshka spends a force. Doesn't spend a force. Spends the focus, but doesn't ditch it. Or rolled an evade, and I missed it out of the box. Might have been rolled an evade. But takes 1 shield. Is the important bit. So this is Bobber, I'm presuming.
Yes, Bobber, I presume going into either Feroff or Gideon.
I think he goes into Feroff. He ends up with 2 hits and a crit. I roll one focus. I spend the force to take the 2 shields on Feroff. He checks for a veteran tail gunner, but no such luck. So my 5s, I start with. I can't remember. I think I start with Backstabber first, but I'm just checking to see if Gideon's image. It's just out.
Yeah.
But I felt that was close enough to have a look. So I do Backstabber first. He Kanan, so I'm down to 3. I roll.
Oh, blank out.
I roll paint. It's 3 hits. I spend the focus for 3 hits, and yeah, he blanks out. So shield, death.
Shield, hell, not shield, death.
Alright, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Then Mauler goes in. He Kanan, so it's 3. I roll hit, crit. He rolls 1 evade. So
and hit crit goes through. Yeah.
Death.
And you crack shot it for the.
So I was going to crack shot it because we weren't paying attention enough to. I thought I needed the crack shot to kill him.
Right.
And then we were like, no, actually, I only need the 2. They only have 3, so I don't crack shot. Just in case I need it later.
Ooh, that's unlucky for Kanan to go down so early.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I tried to kill Kanan, and it never works.
Like, I think having the ties there so they get their extra dice so that it kind of
don't like
new as Kanan.
That is the most likely thing to get rid of a Kanan is to effectively 4 dice attacks. But I've seen Kanan happily live through shit like that. So I was like, I think unlucky because if he gets 1 more evade, right?
Yeah. But then by the same extent, if if the bump on Gideon had been millimeters, or if I'd gone slightly faster, then you hit range.
Well, yeah, obviously, if Gideon's in range, then yes, Kanan is much more likely to die.
And honestly, after the last few weeks, I'm not gonna feel bad for someone getting some crap effects against.
No, I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying, like, oof, unlucky. That's a bit of a hit to Snappy because I personally think Kanan has pretty good odds at surviving. Not surviving on much health.
Yeah.
But surviving.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting death. I was expecting Vader to bank in and nuke him on the next turn.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, I've still got 2 fire sprays to chonk my way through.
Yeah. And we are down to the Koshka shot then. So Koshka has a veteran tailgunner shot for sure.
Yep. So goes range 0 into Gideon, who dodges.
As expected.
Doesn't have Feroff, so goes into, I believe, Backstabber.
Couldn't go into Feroff anyway.
What?
If you have an option of range 0 and range 2, I'm pretty sure you take the range 2.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, it still would have been range 0, wouldn't it? He rolls 3 hits after spending the focus. I roll 2 evades. So I take another damage on Backstabber. So Backstabber on 1. And then Feroff goes into Django. I Gideon that one. I strain Vader. I end up with 2 hits. He rolls 2 evades.
Lovely.
Yeah, trust me, in this game.
The power of Bobber.
Yeah.
So this is interesting because, like, you're 8-2 up, but I actually think it's relatively close because Backstabber's on 1. Mauler has a structural damage, and there are 2 mostly healthy fire sprays.
All I think I've done at this point is made my life slightly easier.
Yeah,
I'm in no way thinking the game's won.
What I want to see from Bobber is a 1 heart to the left.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Because that puts at least one of the ties in your front arc, and the back arc probably has like Gideon or maybe the Reaper.
Yeah.
And Koshka, just go grab an objective. You got a rear arc.
Okay, so
one bank to the left.
We roll off, and it's Snappy again. Snappy goes to drop a proton bomb, and then I ask him why he's dropping it from Koshka when it's Bobber that's got the bombs.
Yeah, I was about to say he's used what is it, like Cicatro Vigo or whatever to swap devices rather than illicits.
And then he's like, on second thoughts, maybe I won't drop a bomb. I was like, fair.
That seems like a good play.
So he pops Contraband and does a 3 Talon with Koshka.
Okay. Claim objective.
And he does claim an objective. Feroff, because I was not expecting a Talon.
I wouldn't have done that, but I like it.
Does no ailerons and then 1 banks to the left. Because if Koshka had gone fast, or even done a 4K, I was thinking 1 bank ailerons, then 1 bank round.
Yeah.
And actually, in hindsight, I think I still should have done that, because it would have got me out of Koshka's arc.
Yeah, that's true.
But hey, but what it does mean is I can claim the center objective back. So that equals the one that Koshka's just stolen. Gideon does a 3 bank away. Because he was going to be my original guy to claim the objective. And then I'm glad I did it with Farof because I realised after I dialed it in that he was stressed and it's white, so.
That is good.
Yes.
Rules.
Then we go to Bobber, who does a 3 bank away.
I quite like that, actually.
And he claims the bottom objective.
So this is what I wanted Snappy to do, but a turn ago, effectively.
Backstabber 3 hards away because I got to be careful with him, and he takes an evade, and I 1 hard with Mauler, and then barrel roll back in towards the center to start doing stuff for the next turn.
Yeah.
And then in a humorous twist, I bump Vader into Farof.
Oh, unfortunate.
Because when I set dials, I was originally planning to get out of the way.
One bank.
I really wish I had have done that, because that would have got me out of Koshka's. May have bumped.
I think it would have
Django.
bumped Bobber.
Yeah. So interestingly, I'm pretty sure Vader takes 1 target lock this round, this game.
Oh.
But hey.
Takes the damage.
Takes the damage.
Gets his force back.
That's fine. That was full anyway. So we go Vader. Vader goes into Bobber. I'm pretty sure it's range 1.
Yeah.
I Gideon. I strain the Reaper. I roll focus crit blank. I spend 2 force for hit crit. Snappy rolls 2 focuses. So that's 3 shields.
But if that is range 1, that means Bobber has a pretty nice shot back into Vader.
Yep. None of my 5s have a shot. So we go to Bobber, who I'm pretty sure range 1's into Vader. He rolls hit and 3 focuses.
Oof. Well, 2 rerolls.
He rerolls into hit crit.
Oh, hit crit. And it looks like it's going into Farof.
It's going into Farof.
I don't dislike that.
He spends the force for 4. It is Farof, and I take the 4, and the crit is a disabled power regulator.
You know what? I like that. If Koshka has the shot into Farof, I actually quite like just focus firing.
So it turns out because he's first player. Mauler does have a shot, but whiffs. So then we go to the 3s, and it is Koshka, and she does just clip the back. And rolls 2 hits.
Farof gets an evade.
I never bother rolling when there's no green dice. Like, what's the point? So yeah, Farof takes 1 and is on 1. Farof then range 1's gains an ion. Range 1's into Bobber. I Gideon that, and I strain Vader this turn.
I would have just strained Farof.
So the reason I strained Vader was I was pretty confident I was doing a blue maneuver next turn anyway. I thought that there's a chance that I'd sloop with Farof, so I didn't want to keep the strain on him.
I guess that's fair.
And no one's shooting Vader again this round. So
yeah, that's true.
And I get 2 hits, a focus and a blank, and I spend the force for 3 hits. Bobber rolls 2 evades. You wouldn't believe the amount of times he does that while I Gideon him.
I mean, that's just Bobber. It's literally like it's coded into reality.
So he takes his last shield. What was I rolling? Oh, that would have
something.
That would have been the planning phase.
Oh yeah,
decloak, which is fine. I could have just decloaked forward; it would have bumped. So It's all good. And yeah, we go into turn. I think it's 4, like 5. I don't know. We lost track.
I think it's 5.
Obviously, Snappy double scored on that, so it's currently 9-4 in my favour.
Yeah,
but I have ships dying, so.
All right, Snappy. What I want to see here is a proton bomb and a 1 bank from Koshka, and then some sort of contraband turnaround from Bobber.
Well, you do see a proton bomb. You are going to love this proton bomb. So we roll off, and I'm first player. So, system phase, I decloak Gideon to the right. To the left, sorry.
Good lord. Even though you didn't have to.
Yeah, I know, right? I then ailerons forward with the Reaper, and then I 1 sloop to the right. Whee! Because I'm like, hey, next turn, if I'm alive next turn, I'm ion maneuvering anyway, so
yeah,
might as well.
Proton bomb.
So Snappy did say about the proton bomb earlier, but I was like, should we just move Feroth out of the way first? Because, the ease.
Yeah.
A 1 bank from Koshka.
Yeah, I like that. Either focus or claim. I don't care which one you do. Actually, reinforce. I like reinforce to the front here.
I would have liked reinforce to the front, but it helps to bank to the right.
Boost. Okay,
Boost. Yeah, that's sorry. It's
actually I like that as well because Vader's probably going to end up behind you. Probably. Like maybe a 1 bank to the left and a barrel will fit, but like there's decent odds.
I do a 2 bank with Gideon, which is why I decloaked to ditch the stress. And I'm looking at that because I'm trying to work out if I'm in Koshka's arc or not. And it's so
looks
close.
Like yes.
And I'm trying to work out if I barrel roll in, does it put me range 1 of the proton bomb?
I don't think so, but...
And I'm like, oh, and I end up going around behind the camera. But I go for the barrel roll and go backwards, because that does get me out of arc.
Yeah, definitely.
We then go... I have no idea why he's moving his fires first. I thought I was first player, but yeah, it's fine.
I mean, you moved Feroth before Koshka, so I'm pretty sure you are first player.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. They don't really interact with each other. He does a 3 Talon with Bobber, and then with a
contraband.
Yeah, he did contraband. Sorry.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter because I 7th Sister
and jammed him. Nice.
And jammed him. So I was like, okay, yeah, fine, you get your reroll, but you can't have a focus. And then in the fun of funs, boosts his shieldless fire spray
into his proton
bomb.
I like the spirit, Snappy.
I think he was trying to guarantee the range 1 shot. I mean, I did say it was range 1 anyway because I 7th sistered, but
I will say there's a difference between range 1 corner to corner and range 1 bobbers in arc.
I still think it looked range 1.
It probably was range 1, but I like the spirit. But I think boosting into your own proton bomb is just the sort of thing I do, and it's bad.
So yeah, then we do my fires. I do a 3 hard with Backstabber, and I barrel roll to the right to try and get a shot onto Koshka.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I just go straight with Mauler, which bumps into the front of Koshka. And I take the red? Yeah, I do take the red focus. And then Vader does a 3 straight, which ditches the strain. After burners boost out of there, and then I believe I claim the bottom objective.
Yep, makes sense.
So yeah, we go to the bomb, and it gets both fire sprays, and that's it.
Yeah, so it's interesting because like I was the way I would have played is like I would like Koshka has shields, take the crit, the Reaper might still be there, and Vader might be there. Was my thinking there?
Yeah. Bobber takes a weapons failure.
Oh, Snappy, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
So
it's still Bobber though.
So nothing from Vader.
I mean,
we do this in the backwards order. I think this is Bobber going into the Reaper.
Yeah. So Bobber reroll and then Fearless for 2. Bam.
Yeah.
The Reaper's dead.
Fearless for 2. Reaper's dead. I get an evade.
There's also the Force. Like,
it's fine. Reaper dies. So 9-8.
So it's 9-8. Yeah, like, this game was close.
Now we do my 5s. And this is the range 0 Mauler. 1 hit, and it goes through.
Nice. Notorious.
No, he forgets. And then range 1 from Backstabber. I have.
Well, the irony being, you also did just strain him. It looks like.
Maybe he did remember on that one.
I mean, either you Gideon, right? Like one way or
another.
No.
I think this is. Yeah, I think this is me Gideoning.
Yeah.
Because I've got the extra dice, so it's 4 dice from Backstabber.
Yeah.
No, he did Notorious me, and then I Gideon the second strain.
Yeah.
I roll hit crit, and the crit knocks off the last shield. And then we check Koska, because she's the last shot. She goes in the range 0 into Mauler. Rolls hit crit. I am structurally damaged and strained.
Oof.
I roll 1 focus. I spend the focus. I take hit crit.
Just crit, right?
What? Oh yeah.
He rolled hit crit.
Yeah, so just
rolled
crit.
Focus.
Yeah. And the crit is a damage sensor array.
All right.
So
luckily you're a TIE fighter.
And then he taps Vader out the back with the veteran tail gunner. Rolls hit crit.
Koshka.
Vader rolls trail mix, spends the force, takes 1 damage, gets the force back.
Okay. Yeah, that seems fine.
And that's the end of that turn. 2-1 to me on objectives, so 11-9. I don't have to decloak. I don't need to decloak because I'm not cloaked. That was the time I was talking about earlier.
This is interesting. Like this is on like a bit of a knife's edge because the Firesprays are starting to hurt, but the ties could just fold.
Yeah, but if I can trade the 2 ties for Bobber, I win.
Yeah.
And Bobber's
that's what I mean. Like it's on a. That's what I mean. It's on a knife's edge because like if the dice, if the dice decide that Bobber's going to live, because sometimes the dice decide that Bobber will live.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like that's just the way Bobber works, right?
Just remember, the dice decide Bobber live.
Yeah, like that's just how Bobber works. Like the dice will decide whether he lives or dies. He just gets to roll more of them.
Yeah, that is true.
Must admit, I'm wishing Koshka had a bomb here.
Yeah. So,
because either he's forgetting 000 or it's not having an effect. Because I'm not seeing extra stress or.
Yeah, no, he's forgetting 000. There was a calculate an odd time because I give it to him. We roll off, and I am first player. But I have no 3, so it doesn't matter. I system phase overtune modulators. Gideon.
I like it.
I mean, I'm going to K-turn.
Gideon's going to get in on the action.
Koshka does a 2 bank. And then boosts.
Makes sense. Okay.
He boosted because he didn't want me to K-turn over him and him not to get the shot. At least this presents the rear arc.
Yeah, that is fair. I just think might be putting Koshka out of the battlefield for a little too long.
Yeah. I do a 3k with Gideon. See, we've done it again. Maybe I just didn't update the overlay on this one. No, I was first player. Why are we moving?
You were first player. You were all in the golden dice, right?
Yeah. Why are we moving Bobber first?
I guess you just forgot how the game works.
Yeah, sure. Who cares about road roll? Trying to work out if it actually comes in. Bobber does a 2 hard and takes a focus. I do a 3 straight with Mauler and take a focus. And then I do a 1 hard with Gideon, with Backstabber, and I take a focus. And then Vader does a 3 Talon.
Nice. Afterburners boost and target locked.
Well, I was stressed, so I wouldn't be able to target lock.
Well, you could have tried.
At this point, I'd rather Vader didn't have a Vader didn't take a shot.
I mean, that's fair.
Because all I need is one bad dice to be in real trouble.
Yep.
Whereas now I can kind of go one-on-one with Boba, deal some damage, and I shouldn't get one shot from where I am.
Vader shouldn't get one shot, but I'm having bad feelings about Mauler.
Oh yeah. No. So this is...
We're now on TIE Fighters shooting. So
no.
now you've got first player.
No, this is Boba going into, I want to say, Mauler because his weapons failure.
Oh, yeah.
Which I dodge. This is Backstabber going into Boba.
Hit, crit.
Hit, crit. One evade. So crit through. It's a panic pilot. And a fuel leak. Oh, sorry, it was a fuel leak and then a panicked pilot.
Oof. So, and then extra damage. So Boba on 2.
Boba on 2. This is Gideon going into... I think I go into
Boba.
Yeah. Rolls 2 hits. Boba rolls 1 evade, so Boba down to 1. And then Koshka out the back rolls 2 hits and kills Backstabber.
Yes. Good old Marauder rerolls.
Yeah, so 13-14 in Snappy's favour.
Yeah, but Boba's on 1.
After points. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, if I kill Boba, I win.
Yeah, simple as that. Boba is on 1. So what I want to see from Boba is I want to see 1 bank to the left and then boost just to try and get some distance. Like, there's no real way to survive. Right. You need a range 3 from Vader somehow. So, it's not going to happen, but you got to try.
Bear in mind, he's double stressed.
Yeah.
So no boosting.
True. I guess you just 2 hard then, or 1 hard.
Spoilers. Boba doesn't die this round. Oh no, hang on. Does he die? He dies, but not the way you think he'd die.
He goes over a rock, doesn't he?
No, he does not go over
Not sure how he does from the situation he's in, but he goes over a rock.
Yeah, no rock.
Does he bomb himself?
No, I don't think so. Gideon has taken 1 million strains. They're slightly away from him, but every time I contraband, I either don't contraband at the right time or I just end up with...
You mean modulate?
Yes, that I know what something. Blah, yeah.
Alright, well, Koshka, you've got to do a 1 hard and you've got to boost back into the fight. You've got to get some shots.
So we roll off, and it's Snappy first player.
Snappy first player, so obviously we move the ties.
And he drops a bomb.
Oh! I mean, sure, why not?
And then Koshka 3 talons.
Okay, yeah, no, I like that. It does basically the exact same thing as what I was wanting.
I 2 bank Gideon in and take a focus, because if Boba's turning that way, I want to block him as much as possible. He does a 2 hard, which does bump Gideon. I do a 3k from Mauler and take a stress. I afterburners boost in, and then remember I can't afterburners boost in because I have a damage sensor array.
Damage sensor array.
So I go back. Vader does a 1 bank. And that was us just discussing with Snappy was like, oh, maybe I should have gone the other way. And I was like, no, you still would have been in arc.
You would have been. This is better because you would have a chance at a range 3 shot, and that's the only way you survive Vader shooting you.
So yeah, Vader takes a lock. It is range 3. I Gideon.
Yeah.
I spend the lock and I spend some force and stuff, and I end up with 2 hits and 1 crit. Want to guess what Boba does?
3 evades.
Oh yeah, 3 evades out of hand.
Yeah, it's Boba.
My fucking ties can never roll that, can they?
Yeah, well, that's because they're ties and they're not Boba.
Well,
Boba's the main character of X-Wing.
Yeah, that's fair. So Boba gets a shot. He range zeroes into Gideon.
Crit.
Rolls a hit crit. Luckily, I rolled 2 focuses, and I've remembered to take a focus this time.
Oh, did he? He did a Notorious Vader, did he? Or is Notorious always just front arc, or is it firing arc?
It's firing arc, but he doesn't have Notorious. He has Fearless. It's Koshka.
Oh, of course, Koshka's the one with Notorious.
So I spend the focus. I take the crit. The crit is a fuel leak.
So I take it the bomb did nothing because you've skipped over it.
Yeah, the bomb was
it's still on the field, but
the bomb's like miles away. You can see it's miles away. There's the range.
I can see. I would have checked if I thought Bobber would die to it.
Yeah. Then I do Mauler.
He doesn't get a range reverse shot. Bobber. He shot Gideon, but no bum shot.
He really should have, shouldn't he? He should have shot Vader.
Like, where was the bum? I know he's got a panic pilot, but come on.
So I shoot Bobber at, I think it's range 2 for Mauler, because Vader was just range 3.
Yeah.
It's got the bullseye for Predator. I've got Vader in the side up for the extra dice. I Gideon that one. I Predator for 3 hits. Goodbye, Bobber.
Yeah, he's dead. Good game.
Koshka gets a shot into Gideon. Rolls 2 hits. Re-rolls because I'm stressed.
Strained, yeah.
Strained, sorry for Notorious. For hit crit. I roll 1 evade. So Gideon dies.
Yeah.
We had the points, and it was like 22-18. 22-8. No, I think if
must have not added the point for your point.
I was going to say, if it, check it right at the end. I think it was, because I'm sure I added it in just before I stopped it. Yeah, 24-18.
24-18.
24-18. And an interesting game.
That's close.
An interesting game.
Like, it was interesting because for me, I think Snappy played Kanan poorly because I think he gave you too much of an opportunity to just jump on him. I think if Kanan is weirdly enough, I think if Kanan is slightly closer to the Firesprays, it's harder to just jump over them.
I 100% agree with you. It's only because there was that gap in there that I knew the Hawk couldn't really fill because it's not fast enough. That I completely agree.
I mean, Firesprays still make it close, though, don't they?
Well, that's it. And this is why I'm like, this list is good. The boy list is good. It's top tier. A lot of the good players are playing it. But I'm just not sure it's suited, not even to my play style, to my temperament.
You don't like rolling 3 greens.
I'm not you. I can't sit there happily, merrily watching my ships die. It irritates me when I roll below average, and especially when I roll average on so fragile ships. And then I'm almost in a battle with myself to not be that frustrated and not let it affect my decision making for the rest of the game. Yeah. It's like the Firesprays. If you roll 2 blanks, alright, fine. I've taken some shields. I've taken some hull. I've taken like 6 damage, and I've still got more than a TIE fighter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Also, the fact that if Gideon dies, it really neuters the list a lot.
Not sure about neuters, but I think it definitely dampens.
Dampens would be a better word than neuters, but
because it's like even without Gideon, it's still gonna hit this still hits like a truck. Yeah. I say definitely on odds it does still hit like a truck. Like Backstabber and Mauler Mythal are still very good ships, and so is Boy Vader.
But I don't know. I think I'm going to carry on practicing this, and I'm going to carry on. I might actually just try flying the list I flew at Sith Taker open a bit more as well, and have the 2 and make a final. Although, to be fair, we're all pretty confident that, getting some practice in for the Welsh Open, we're all pretty confident there's in fact going to be a points update between now and then. So let's wait and see if that affects either of them. I'd be gobsmacked if this list gets through unscathed.
I mean, probably will get through unscathed, but I reckon you can still run some sort of imitation of it, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. was a small part of me was hoping they would troll us by dropping it today, but
nah, not going to happen. It's Shatterpoint week.
No such luck.
And Legion Day, I guess.
Oh, I mean, those Ewoks did look pretty cool.
Yeah.
But on that note, we better wrap it up for this week. Because it's not.
Yeah, this interesting game. Like this is looking at this like this could have easily gone the other way. Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's it.
Because on one hand, you were kind of in control the entire time. But I think maybe that's why you're not having fun with the list. Is like you're in control the entire time, but it just never feels like that.
Yeah, and well, that's it. Like every game seems to be close, whether it's win or lose, and that's probably a good thing. Like it's very rare I get stomped, but it's also very rare I stomp anyone.
Yeah.
And yeah, it always seems like a struggle because those TIE fighters are always 1 or 2 damage away from death, or a blank out away from death, or you have one bad round and lose both of them, and yeah, I don't know. I just get the feeling it slightly negatively affects me as a person.
Then don't fly it, because I think you'll just do better.
Well, that's it. That's why I'm
flying a list that won't tilt you if it goes slightly wrong.
I'm not too bad if it goes slightly wrong, but even you have to admit my dice recently have not been.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know. Like
it's a cold streak.
Yeah, it's a cold streak, but for me, people complaining about cold streaks, I don't really care about that because and eventually you'll start rolling hot, and then like the next tournament you'll roll ridiculously hot, and you'll have forgotten about this cold streak.
Oh no, I get that. I'm not. It's not. I'm not complaining about dice. It's more I suppose commenting that is the period I'm going through, and it affects my game. Like it is what it is. Dice are dice, and luck is luck, and no roll like cares about the roll beforehand. The odds are exactly the same.
Yeah,
but you do, it can be a little bit demoralising.
Oh yeah,
like probably. I know you probably don't get that because you play droids and you have a million of them and they pop and.
I mean, see, the thing is, this is my one complaint is if I lose if I blank out 3 times and lose 3 droids, I feel like morally obligated to not complain. But if someone's flying, like say Luke, same amount of points roughly as 3 droids, and they blank out 3 times and Luke dies, they're having a disaster of the game. Whereas I'm not allowed to say, well, I just had the exact same rolls.
I think if you blank out 3 times, then that's a reason. One round.
Because sometimes you have that with droids, and I'm expected to be like, oh well, that's just how droids are sometimes. But it is annoying that I have to listen to if the other side happens. It's just like, my 6-point ship blanked out 3 times. It's like, well, if 3 of my 2-point ships blank out 3 times, they also die. It's the same number of shots, same number of dice. Yeah. Admittedly, I'm more likely to have more health, but I also don't get the benefit of shields. That's the one thing that is slowly grinding on me, is that I'm supposed to accept that droids can die, but Luke blanking out 3 times is an absolute disaster and atrocious.
I mean, and that's fair. But then I've also played many a game against you where the droids just refuse to die.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like,
it's the same. Like, it's the same as any other.
Yeah.
But my point is, like, you'd go into an engage. I mean, depending on how the engage is, but say you joust with something, realistically, you're expecting at least one of your ships to die, right?
Oh yeah, that's depending on what I'm jousting. If it's a full-on joust, I thoroughly expect one ship to die.
Yeah. Whereas I can't play that way. I can't play with that mindset. I don't want my ships to die.
And you honestly might, like, weirdly enough, you might want to go back to playing aces, right? Because if you don't want, like,
But aces don't do well in 2.5.
Well, then you haven't got an archetype that you like, because if you don't because when you play a jousty list, you have to accept that one of your ships will eat the damage back.
So, all right, I should rephrase it. It's not that I don't mind my ships dying. That's actually the wrong way of putting it, because one of the lists that I enjoyed the most and that I did quite well with was back towards the end of 2.5 when I was at 2.0 when I was flying Resistance.
Yeah.
And flying the 3 T-70s and the 2 pods. And I'd lose ships, but most of the time it would take effort on my opponent's behalf for those ships to die. And sometimes it does. I mean, Backstabber survived on 1 health for a while, and Mauler didn't die with the structural damage. But it's just it seems, and I know it isn't. I know it's perception, but it just seems there's too often of 3 blanks and then your ship's dead. You know,
yeah, I mean,
with things.
Well, that's the thing with when the archetype that Imperials have most of the time is they trade health for greens, so they're basically saying, like, we can completely negate most shots sometimes.
Yeah.
And whereas, like, the resistance list is like, we can't fully negate a shot, but we can at least dampen it, and we have the health to back it up.
Yeah, and maybe that better suits my temperament, and that's something I'll look at. But I mean, I might as well just wait for points updates at this point, so we'll carry on playing. Or,
I mean, honestly,
if I want to play Imperials, play things like the Decimator.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe like a small part of me wonders if, like, when you roll 3 greens, you sort of just like expect more successes.
Possibly
because you're rolling 3.
Because you're rolling 3, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there probably is that subconscious. You almost feel like you're entitled to at least 1 evade every time because you're rolling 3 greens.
Yeah, because like what was it earlier in this game when you rolled 4 dice, you rolled evade, focus, blank, blank, and I was like, oh, kind of statistical, because evade, focus, blank, blank, and evade, focus, blank have the same odds.
Yeah, and that was fine. It was the roll before that. There was 3 blanks and an evade, but that is what it is. Yeah, it's
Like, I wonder if what might help you is if the way you look at it is like, because the way I look at it is like, if I don't have, like, let's say my draws, if I don't have the calculates, because focus is equal blanks, right? So it's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you don't have the focus, whether you roll a focus or not doesn't actually matter, because it does, like, it isn't a thing.
Yeah.
It's so, like, when you rolled the 3 blanks and the evade, and I was like, I mean, you could have rolled 3 focuses and an evade, and the same result would have happened.
No, I agree. And obviously, we looked last week at the difference in dice sets. But on that specific turn, I think barrel rolling out so I don't get shot is still the best.
Yeah, I think it's still the best thing, but it's one of those things where it's like, and now I don't have a focus. My evade dice off my green dice off 3 out of 8 rather than 5.
Yeah.
And we all 3 out of 8 are the same as Marvel Crisis Protocol defense dice, and you know how shit they can be.
Yes, I do. French. Yes, I do. Right, on that note, we really had better wrap it up.
On that Marvel note, let's wrap this up. We've strayed into different games.
We will be back next week with another game. I will actually try and make sure we get a U game in next week.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should find something different.
Assuming you're not traitoring off again next week.
No, it's not Star Wars Day, so I won't be off playing Legion.
Fair.
I also don't have a Legion tournament in the next day.
Fair enough. Yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.